All right. Let's do it. Let's go live. How are you guys doing? I thought I'd try a different time today, see what you guys like. If you are new to joining me live, you know that I get hundreds of questions and it takes me a while to get through them. Sometimes I don't get through all of them. So I do my best. I answer the questions in order. So as you watch, you will see I will answer your questions in order. With that being said, my name is Alexandra. I'm founder of Life with Herpes. Yes, I have herpes. I have both oral and genital herpes. I was diagnosed with HSV1 in 2003 and HSV2 in 2011. So I've been living with this for a couple of decades now, and I have learned to manage it. I have dealt with the overall suffocation that occurs emotionally, not physically, but emotionally when you're diagnosed, the isolation, the terror, the feeling of absolute, an anxiety roller coaster, a depression roller coaster, all of that. So I have dealt with that, moved through that. I'm currently working on my master's in theology, so I am a minister. I'm working on that to support people like our community with healing, as well as I'm learning a little bit about trauma. I'm learning about how it happens in our body, what it does, how we get through our belief system, because the majority of what happens here with a herpes diagnosis is a belief system. It's not just, because herpes is just a virus that the majority of the population has. It's the belief system behind it on why it is so detrimental. So if we can remove those blocks of the belief system, then that can help us overcome what I like to call the EUR phase of being diagnosed with herpes. So with that being said, and I have this hat on because I need to wash my hair, and I feel like, it's February. We still have a few more weeks of winter, but I feel like it's coming to an end. Unfortunately, I feel like I have like one more month of this, so I'm trying to get it in. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. All right, guys, so here's your opportunity to ask your questions about what it's like to live with herpes. I get things like, what is the difference between HSV1, HSV2? Can I get it up here and down here? Can I get it both of them down here? Can I get both of them up there? How do you disclose? What supplements do I take? How do I prevent outbreaks? How do I deal with the pain? All that sorts of things. So feel free to ask your questions here. And I will answer them. I did have to do that. Oh, it felt good. All right. When you get cold sore, how do you keep your lip from swelling up so big? So I'm trying to remember. It's been a long time. I've had, HSV1 oral for 20 years, and I've had 4 outbreaks. 2 were awful. The other 2 were like, more like a paper cut on my mouth. So how do I keep them from swelling? So I would say anything you can do to lower the inflammation in your body is going to be helpful. But here's what I would use. This is what I just put on. This is what I use daily. People with oral herpes can use it or not. It is like the best feeling lip balm you will ever experience. It's all natural. And it has some ingredients like beeswax, coconut oil, coconut butter, and then there's peppermint oil, and there's actually lysine in this directly. So the lysine is gonna help fight the cold sore, the herpes outbreak on your lip. It's gonna help fight it topically. It also helps with pain. The peppermint oil helps with that. So a lot of things in this help. And that's what I recommend. Again, I use this daily with or without an outbreak. So, it's all linked for you if you want to check it out. This was the first product we came out with, in the Secret Society Wellness, line. So it was a line that I developed in 2018. So this was the first one. My doctor told me that I don't have to disclose. Is that true? So I'm going to say that's false. Here's the thing. Put the shoe on the other foot. Put yourself in that position of someone that hasn't disclosed to you. Where the doctor may be coming from is a couple of things. A lot of doctors don't spend a lot of time on herpes. Like, it's not medically, herpes is not a big deal. It's not an anomaly. It's not a big deal. It happens all the time. It doesn't cause overall trauma to the body, right? So they don't spend a lot of time on it. With that being said, so they also may be under the the old theory that you're only contagious when you have an outbreak. So, which is not true. I'll get into that second. So if a doctor is under that pre-thought, then I can understand why a doctor would say that. Like, why are you going to disclose if you don't even have an outbreak? Like, what's the point, right? So I understand that point of view. The next reason why a doctor may say that is 2 out of 3 people have HSV1. That's extremely common. 2 out of 3. So why would, I can see their thought point of like, why even disclose if the person most likely has it, right? Why would you disclose if someone already has it? So yeah, so I can see that. However, what we don't realize is oral herpes. One of the things that has happened is people haven't disclosed they have oral herpes. They go and do things with their mouth down there, and their partner ends up with genital herpes. And that's can be, you know, very traumatic. That's why herpes is transmitted so often is people don't disclose. Either they don't know they have it, they don't know they should disclose, and they're unaware. So, or they just don't have the ability to disclose. Like they're emotionally not there or able to disclose. So that's reasons why people usually do not disclose. But it's very important for us to disclose that we have herpes. Absolutely. Whether it's up here or down there, it doesn't matter. It can still be sexually transmitted. With that being said, and I originally said that it was under the preconceived notion that herpes was only contagious during an outbreak, and that's false. You're contagious when you do have an outbreak, which is true, absolutely true. Obviously, right? That's when it's in its biggest form. It's when there's viral DNA that's like coming out, obviously. But you're also contagious when the virus is shedding. So that can be symptomatic or asymptomatic. Majority of the time it is asymptomatic, meaning the host, we can use myself as an example. I don't know when I am contagious. So I don't have any signs or symptoms. There's no tingle, itch, blister. And what happens is the virus sheds, just like anything else sheds. It's called viral shedding. And it sheds its viral DNA and it pops up to the surface of the skin where you have herpes, and it disperses of the virus. So if you come in contact, if someone comes in contact with that skin area, they are going to potentially pick up the herpes virus. All right. Thanks guys for the hearts. I really appreciate it. It's like the heart month, Valentine's Day month. So I appreciate you and I appreciate the hearts. If you know anybody that is watching this that needs to hear this information, maybe you have a friend, a cousin, an ex-lover, somebody that is dealing with a herpes diagnosis, that's why I'm here. I'm here to support. I'm here to educate. I'm here to break the stigma. I'm here to let you know that you can live life with herpes. Like, it is going to be okay. When you stop taking daily antivirals, do you start getting outbreaks automatically? Yes and no. Everybody's body is going to be different. Some people do, some people don't. You'll just have to see what your body does. And if your body did something in the past, you may have evolved, you may have changed. So if you got outbreaks when you first got herpes and you're like, oh my gosh, I got it back to back. And then you decide, hey, like 5 years later, let me try and go off it and see what happens. And you're like, this was fine. Your body's changed. Maybe your immune system's different. Sorry, I'm going through all the questions. Thank you for answering your question. You're welcome. Or that wasn't to me. I didn't answer your question, but that was to make it drizzle. I went to 30 doctors who told me I tested positive right now, but I don't have it. How do you know you don't have it? If you test positive, if you have the antibodies, then you would have the virus. You may not get outbreaks, which is awesome. So you may be asymptomatic, but if you have tested positive multiple times, you most likely have it, even if you do not get outbreaks. I just started taking the daily antivirals and I've never had another outbreak. Yeah, that's really helpful for a lot of people. Some people like to take the daily antivirals. I used to take the daily antivirals when I first was diagnosed. When I was dating, I took them daily. Now I no longer take them daily. I take supplements. I try to use a herpes outbreak more as a way of, gosh, if I feel one coming on, that's a sign to me that I'm either not getting enough sleep, I'm not taking care of my body, I'm not eating properly, things like that. I like to go a little more natural and use it as kind of a pendulum to let me know what's going on in my body. I take supplements, I take natural supplements. These are the ones that I use. I use Palmera Health. Here's their brand, Palmera Health supplements. I talk about these all the time on the lives. But I use monolaurin and lysine to help me specifically with my herpes outbreaks. So I do have them linked. You do get 10% off if you use the promo code, and I have them right here. Yeah, you can take supplements and change your diet to help yourself heal. You get Outbreak on your lip once a year and your lip swells up so bad. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I would use the lip balm. That might be helpful. It's also naturally SPF. The sun can cause outbreaks on people's mouth a lot. I've seen that a lot. Thank you. How do you know what genital HSV? How do you know what genital HSV is gone? How do you know when it's gone? So the virus never leaves our body. We have it for life. Whether we take the antiviral or do not take the antiviral, we have it for life. So once the blister is gone, you no longer feel a sensation there, and that's when it has healed up. Someone's saying that your ex has HSV once, you've taken supplements just in case. That's awesome. Yeah, so these are supplements I use. It's called monolaurin, which is lauric acid. It's found in human breast milk. I point to me because I'm still breastfeeding. I have a child. Human breast milk and coconuts. So what it does is they disrupt the outer layer of an enveloped virus. Enveloped virus essentially means there's a shell, and it cannot our immune systems cannot penetrate that shell. So monolaurin disrupts that outer shell and allows our immune system to go in and fight enveloped viruses. So that could mean the herpes virus, it can be other enveloped viruses that are in our bodies. Because if you have other viruses, like somebody yesterday was saying that they have Epstein-Barr, and how monolaurin's been really helpful for that, because that when that is like alive or like not dormant, active in someone's body, it can also trigger other things happening. So this is what I take daily. I'm out of lysine. It should arrive today. Damon, the founder of the company, sent it to me the other day. So I'm like, oh man, I need some. I take lysine daily. Lysine is a protein. It's an essential amino acid. It's a protein that we consume in our foods. And the higher the lysine in our bodies, the less likely we are to have the virus replicate in our bodies. So it's not guaranteed. You still can have viral replication, but it basically helps prevent or lessens the viral replication in our body. So I take those things daily. How do you know if you have it? So that's one of the biggest things. Most people don't know they have it. 90% of the people living with genital herpes will never be diagnosed with herpes, which is wild to me. So how do you know you have it? You would be diagnosed with typically a blood test. They're looking for the antibodies in your blood, not to be confused. The herpes virus does not live in your blood. You're looking for antibodies. And, or if you have a blister or something, and they can swab it. So those would be the two ways that you would be diagnosed. How do you prevent it from transferring? So you can take an antiviral, which is a drug that is prescribed to you. The CDC, or the FDA states that it is the most effective way to prevent transmission. So you can take that. You can use a condom. Something to be aware of, a condom only prevents transmission between 30 and 50%. So that's something to be aware of as well. You can also take supplements yourself to help prevent the replication in your body, as well as your partner can take supplements to help boost their immune system. So those are some things. These are all great things that make it drizzle. Suggested oregano oil, lemon balm, neem oil, fenugreek, I can't pronounce it, monolaurin, and angiographis. Yes, I take angiographis as well. When does a person typically start? Let's see. But would you have pain or anything? Yeah, sometimes they're painful and sometimes they're not. It is living in our nerves. It just depends. Sometimes they're painful, sometimes they're not. The first outbreak hurts, and others may never appear again, or it may not hurt as much. Mine no longer are painful. They're just more annoying. Like, oh, it's there. How many pills do I take a day? So if you go to monolaurin and more, it's a third-party website where you can research what you want to learn about monolaurin. It'll tell you the dosing of what you're trying to do, if you're a male or female, your weight, and things like that. So that's what I take, and I follow that. What supplements do I take daily? I take a lot of supplements. I take a prenatal, I take monolaurin, I take lysine, I take andrographis, I take vitamin B, vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc. If I have an outbreak, I take lemon balm. I take a digestive enzyme. I take CoQ10 for my heart. Yeah, these are the supplements that I use. They're all linked for you in the bio, I guess. They're all linked for you. You can check them out. And you get percents off. Can you take antiviral every day, or does it cause kidney problems? So I'm not a doctor. I can't relate to that. My just personal belief is like, why take something every day if you don't need to? I did take it every day for a number of years, and I got off of it. Some people will take it their entire life. Some people will never take it. I would talk to your doctor and ask your doctor what it works for you and your particular body. When does a typical person start viral shedding? You don't know. You don't know when you're going to shed. How do you tell someone you have herpes? I would first understand why you want to tell them. Is it romantic? Is it a partner, a past partner? Is it a friend? Is it a relative? But if it's to be intimate, I would also look at like, what are your goals with the intimacy? Is it something casual, one night stand, or is it a longer term thing? If it's very casual, I would just get to the facts and be like, look, let's do this. I just want you to know I get tested regularly. I'm negative for these things and I'm positive for this. What questions do you have? Like, this is what we're gonna do to prevent transmission. This is what I'm doing to prevent transmission. So I would just be really short and sweet. If it's a longer term or you want something deeper, I would start talking about sexual health. What are you guys gonna do as a couple? How often do you both get tested? Are you monogamous? Are you not monogamous? Use it as an umbrella conversation to talk about your relationship and then talk about this. So that's what I would do. So if someone said you tested positive for HSV and you actively care for yourself and take supplements to keep safe. Yeah, same with me. You made bee pollen. You added bee pollen. I used to purchase that at a farmer's market. I haven't had that in a while, but that bee pollen is really good. I know my family, they had horses. They'd give their horses bee pollen. Can you take these supplements in addition to your antiviral? You can. I'm not a doctor. I can't recommend, but a lot of people do. I have in the past. Obviously, do your own research. Condoms don't cover all the skin that can point to the entry of infection sites. Absolutely. Would it be beneficial for your partner to wear like 3 condoms at once to protect? Absolutely not. That actually can cause the condoms to not work properly. Like, it can cause them to come off or like break. You have to remember that the area that the condom is covering doesn't cover all the skin in that area, and the person may be infected in other areas. How much lysine do I take? I follow the recommended on the bottle, whatever it says, whatever the milligrams are per bottle. I'm glad we have a doula on here. How long after outbreak can you have relations? The like proper, if you were to research it, it would say a week. For me personally, I wait about 24 to 48 hours. I asked my husband, like, does he feel comfortable? So I would just communicate with your partner. The longer you have it, does it get less severe and contagious? Correct. The longer you have it, the less. I love that we have a friend on here that is like communicating. I love it. Thank you for like being like a proctor. I really appreciate it. Drizzle, make it drizzle. The longer you have it, does it get less severe and contagious? Yes. The longer you have it, the less likely you are to have multiple outbreaks, and that would mean you're less contagious. Can you take the supplements with your antivirals? You can. Obviously, ask your doctor. Was I scared that he would walk away after I told him? Yeah, if someone walks away after you tell that person. So the rejection happens for 3 reasons. We get rejected for herpes disclosure for 3 reasons. 1, the person is not emotionally able to deal with sexual health. Like the person is just silly about it, immature. You can be 15 or 55, 75. It doesn't matter. The person just could be like immature about that. Number 2, the person has a belief, a core belief system around STDs or around herpes that is not going to change. I like using the example. You can use religion as an example. You have people of the Jewish faith that are never going to resonate with people of the Christian faith. People of the Christian faith are not going to resonate with the Jewish faith. Like if there's one distinct thing, it's not going to change, right? And neither's right or wrong. It's just not going to change. Or 3rd, the person's not into you. And that's the hardest to hear because we like to think that, oh my gosh, if I didn't have herpes, the person would be into me, and that's false. Because at some point, that person would not be into you, right? It may be short-lived, it may be like fun for a few weeks or a few months, but if that person's not willing to take a risk or a chance, either their belief system isn't there or they're just not into you. And if you'd rather know sooner than later. How long can an outbreak last? It can last weeks. If your first outbreak, it can like last 3 weeks. A long outbreak can last about a week. Yeah, some immune systems take a long time. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today. It was fun to do it at a different time. I love the hearts. I appreciate all of you. I loved having Make It Drizzle help proctor and add all the commentary. Again, I just appreciate you all, so thanks for joining me, and I will see you all soon in the next live. All right, bye.